welcome to Music from Studio J. This is Brian Sanders coming to you over KNPR, Nevada Public Radio, in anticipation of an event that will be as much a celebration as a concert. Frank Gagliardi's UNLV Jazz Ensemble has returned from a triumphant West Coast tour where they performed to various accolades at both the Reno Jazz Festival and the Berkeley Jazz Festival, Berkeley, California, coming away with great honors for their performances in both locations. Also an appearance at Disneyland. You'll be hearing more about that, I'm sure, as Frank Gagliardi talks his way through the next hour or so with the UNLV Jazz Ensemble. The UNLV Jazz Ensemble is 17 members strong and has toured not only this country in the West, but Japan, South America, and Spain in recent years. I believe the band has plotted something of an unusual entrance. You might be hearing people moving on and off stage as the first number progresses. Let's just listen in and see what's going on here. The oldest member of the group, the pianist, is carrying a broom, is dusting the music stands, and wearing a trench coat.
Sure.
Thank you very much, and welcome to what we're calling today our celebration concert. It's our final concert of the year, but we're doing a lot of celebrating today. A few weeks back, in case some of you may not know, we went on a nice little tour. We put together a nice little package. We were invited to play at the International Jazz Festival in Reno, in which they have 150 high school bands, and they have an evening performance, and we were pleased and pleasured to be invited to perform at that evening performance in front of about 1,500 to 2,000 high school musicians, so it was great exposure for us, and we were received so well that I thought that was the start of a good tour. And then the following day, as luck would have it, we went over to Berkeley, California for the Pacific Coast Jazz Festival. And we haven't been to a festival in many years, and this was a competitive festival, and I really don't care much for competition in jazz. I think it's too great an art form to compete over, but if you don't show your face every once in a while, why, people think you're out of it, or they don't know about you anymore, or they think you're afraid. So we thought maybe after such a long time we would go there and test the waters and kind of see where some of the other bands are and where we are and so on. And it's a quality festival, all the best bands from Washington, California, Utah, etc. So as luck would have it, we went there, and to our great surprise and my thrill, we actually won the contest, came in first place. So it kind of showed all of us that we were still on the right track. That afternoon we played in front of some judges, and the scores came out, and we had a very good score. And then we went to another room where they do something that's very good. Every band has to sight read a chart that they have never played before, and so we did extremely well there too. In fact, the judge asked us to play part of it again because he enjoyed hearing it played correctly. And then that evening we competed with other bands, and so we won the first place in our division and then the overall first place trophy. So I'm really proud of these people, and I hope you are too. So here is our lute over here, and in order to have a good, happy beginning, why I thought I'd have you meet an unusual person here. At UNLV, we have a senior citizens program, a real program where people come and they can sign up for credit. And we have a gentleman who's 71 years young, who's a former great trumpet player with many of the old bands, and he plays piano for a hobby now. And he's a very unique person. He gets excited when you just mention A Trane. And we've just had a great time with him, and why don't you meet Buddy Yeager. Buddy? Actually, we've done Buddy a great favor because he didn't know any of this was going to happen as we. And he said, well, as the afternoon progressed and he thought we might win the contest, well, he said, Frank, if we win this, I'm going to buy a hearing aid. So we've helped him too. No, a hearing aid. Okay, I thought we would perform today some of the tunes we played at the various concerts and festivals. The next thing we'll do is an arrangement by Herbie Phillips. It's called Red's Deal. Thank you very much. I hope you could notice something that kind of took place right on the stage at Berkeley. You know, when we were there in the afternoon and we got into the finals, we were very pleased about that, but we wondered what the competition would be that night. And as we were preparing to go on stage, you could hear the previous band go on, and sometimes it's very intimidating, and we were all kind of concerned, but I noticed that they kept playing why the faces and the eyes of the musicians here, you know, they started to show that, well, you know, I think maybe we could do this. And once we got on the stage, something happened that night that is still taking place, but can you feel the fire, you know? The energy of it all is just super. And I don't necessarily mean volume, it's just something that happens, and it's very rare, and I'm still enjoying it. Now, on the first number, we featured our trombone section on a very difficult number, and as soloists there, we had Richard Lopez, Richard, and Fito Ruiz, and of course Buddy Yeager on piano. On this last on this last number, also on that first one was Rob Mader on alto. Rob? And on this number we just played, Red's Deal, which is one of my favorite charts. We had Shannon Fehr on tenor saxophone. And in addition to our getting a trophy from Disneyland and 2 trophies at Berkeley, and you would like to mention that Neil Max got the Outstanding Trombonist Award there. So Neil, yeah. Okay, now we'd like to do a beautiful ballad called Misty. Glenn Colby. Glenn. When we went to Reno and Berkeley both, we tried to have a diversified program playing ballads and fast swing and medium swing. And we did this next Latin number, which seemed to appeal to most people. It's called Mama, Your Samba's on Fire.
The UNLV Jazz Ensemble recorded live in concert at Artemis Ham Concert Hall. This is KNPR, Nevada Public Radio, in Studio J.
Thank you very much. On trombone, that was a gentleman I'm going to be losing. I brought him here many years ago. Well, not too many. It sounds like an old man. A few years back from Denver, I used to call him my number one draft choice, and I'll miss him a lot. Richard Lopez. Richard? And a young man we've been trying to get for 2 or 3 semesters, and finally got him, a new young man in our band, very talented, Russ Burt. Russell? Of course, this will be the last concert for some of our fellas, and I'll miss some of them very dearly. One of them was our guitar player for many years, a marvelous musician, and this year he's played bass for us and had a lot to do with our winning the festival, and a great soloist, and we'll miss him sorely. Bill Wiseman. Bill? And another young man we'll be missing is one of my favorite friends, teacher, and great musician, Nick Stamanis on drums. Nick? Also, I'd like to mention that this concert is being recorded live and will be played on KNPR tomorrow evening, so if you want to hear yourself again, why, tune it in. Anyway, we'd like to thank KNPR. The night that we won the contest was a Saturday night. I called them up from Berkeley and told them what happened. They were so thrilled. Yee, boys, oh, they put it on the air right away, and that's the kind of support we love. So we're very appreciative of KNPR. Okay, next we'd like, thank you. Thank you for that. Next we'd like to do another Herbie Phillips tune called Compilation. Rob Vito Russell. Now we'd like to settle things down again with another beautiful ballad. It's kind of fun for me to enjoy these type of ballads because they utilize our woodwind sections rather than just saxophone players. So we'll feature them on doubles and also Shannon, Fehr on tenor saxophone. My one and only love. chick from Canada, Shannon Fehr. Shannon? And some beautiful lead flute playing by a freshman, Russ Petroni. Russ. That beautiful arrangement was by Don Menza. I'd like to explain or announce with great pleasure that our vice president here at the university is initiating some artists in residence. And there are going to be some in theater and dance and music. And happy to say that through his efforts, next year, for the full year, Don Menza will be our artist in residence and be on our faculty teach here at UNLV. Not bad. Also, I'd like to mention again that this is being broadcast by radio station KNPR. I think you should meet a gentleman and look at him. He's a handsome young fellow who's behind in the wings, never gets to come out in front, and he's a very talented young man, Brian Sanders. Brian, come on out here. There he is. And every once in a while at these contests, you have to do a number that really shocks everyone. And I think we will do this to Doris Day. So Doris, wherever you are, forgive us. It's one of those arrangements on a tune called Secret Love. Thank you once again, Neil Maxa. Neil. There are certain things we enjoy within the band, and one of them was the lead trumpet player on that last tune, the fellow way up with the space shuttle there, Tim Jones. Also, I would like to have someone take a bow. A gentleman that is new to our campus is our assistant director of bands here working our sound today, Tony LaBounty. Tony? We'll do 3 more numbers for you. This next one is another unusual one. It's a funky shuffle beat. It's called Don't Feed the Animals.
UNLV Jazz Ensemble in concert Sunday, May 7th, 1989. Coming to you over 89.5 FM, KNPR Las Vegas.
Thank you, Rob Nader, Russell Burt.
KTPH Tonopah. Frank Gagliardi is the leader of the UNLV Jazz Ensemble.
We try to feature as many people as we can, but there are others that are just as important that don't really get too well known, and you should meet them now. On trumpet, Gary Cordell. Gary? And a man who gets to play all the fun parts on bass trombone, Gerald Gray. Gerald? Also on baritone sax, whom we'll feature on our last number, and bass clarinet, Tony Micheletty. Also a young man who has been playing lead for us most of the year. He's a grad student, and he'll be leaving us now, and I'd like to thank him for all of his efforts and wish him good luck. Perry Ferara. Perry? Also, there are many forms of art, of course, and we wanted to share with you another idiom in art today. There's a well-known artist in town who has attended most of our concerts and knows the band, and she has given us these beautiful artworks, original art, each one differently. The T-shirts, aren't they beautiful? And I believe she is here. Joanna Hawley is the artist. Johnny, are you here? Right there. Johnny, thank you very much. For our next to last number, we'd like to do a number called Good Morning, Irene. It's a well-known arrangement, and it's very dangerous to play something that's so well-known unless you can play it as well or better. But this is so well played by our soloist, and it's a lesson in listening and playing and everything. It's so beautifully written. We'll feature Darrin Thomas and our Woodwinds on Good Morning, Irene. Tasty Piano by Buddy Yeager. Buddy. And the flugel solo played so beautifully by Darrin Thomas. Darrin. At the Bates Motel. Thank you very much for coming, and we hope to see you next year. Morning. Micheletty. And the UNLV Jazz Ensemble.
Greg Gagliardi's award-winning UNLV Jazz Ensemble, globe-trotting and award-winning. This is KNPR, Nevada Public Radio. And music from Studio J, a concert given just yesterday on the UNLV campus at Artemis Ham Concert Hall. Something of a farewell concert for this fine young ensemble.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. We feel your energy there, and thank you very much. And we appreciate your support, and hopefully we'll see you next fall with all new band and all new music. And we've loved playing for you today. Thank you very much.
And as you heard Frank Gagliardi say, an all-new band next year and an all-new book. And as a matter of fact, there'll probably be a number of concerts featuring the artist in residence that you heard him mention briefly. Fantastic saxophonist Don Menza will be artist in residence next year, the next 2 semesters at UNLV. A couple of reminders before we turn it back over to regular programming here on KNPR. That is that May is Jazz Month in Southern Nevada. The Allied Arts Council, through a very generous grant from First Interstate Bank, has once again organized a full month-long calendar of jazz events in Southern Nevada and Las Vegas. This Wednesday, day after tomorrow, the first of 4 Wednesday evening concerts in the Allied Arts Council Gallery will begin with bassist Charlie Hayden and several local musicians and an outstanding pianist that will be making his Las Vegas debut, as a matter of fact. John Campbell will be working with Charlie Hayden, the great bassist, who in recent years has performed and recorded with Pat Metheny and Michael Brecker, among others. Of course, his work in the late 50s and early 60s with Ornette Coleman and many others, also quite notable. That's Charlie Hayden, Wednesday at the Allied Arts Council Gallery. Then the following week will be the Greg Marcial Quintet, Therapy Group Number 2, the small group. Greg is a fine trumpet player and will be playing a lot of original music. The following week, Joe Williams, Las Vegas #1 jazz citizen, will be working with some of his regular cohorts, including bassist Bob Badgley. And the following week, the 31st of May, there will be a concert featuring original new music from 3 very talented local composer musicians. Don Hanna is one of them. I don't have all of my information before me, but Don Hanna will be contributing some music, as will saxophonist Jack Montrose, and there will be others represented as well. The Composers Consortium rounding out a full month of Wednesday evening concerts from the Allied Arts Council Gallery, and those concerts will be broadcast over KNPR beginning at 10 o'clock each Wednesday, so we hope to see you there. Thanks to the stage crew and the personnel involved in getting this concert on the air. That is the stage crew at UNLV Artemis Ham Concert Hall. Rick Romito is the chairman of the Performing Arts Center here. And our production assistant this afternoon, Rick Moore. This is Brian Sanders, thanking the band once again and thanking you for being with us here on KNPR and inviting you to stay right here on 89.5 FM, KNPR Las Vegas.
Funding for the program in part was provided by the Nevada State Council on the Arts, a state affiliate of the National Endowment for the Arts, a federal agency. And funding for the past hour of KNPR program has been provided in part by Godden Ford Saab, Nevada's largest Ford dealer, a proud sponsor, Nevada Public Radio. 21 and a half minutes past the hour of 11 here as we finish up with a special program here on this Tuesday night edition of Jazz on KNPR. And we have even more for you following Dr. Science.